My name's Joe.
Listen.
Yeah, Joe Phelps, the nut man. Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, bring the meeting to order. Do the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
First thing is gonna be the on-point trash rate change.
So the new rate, they're charging $14.85 a house, or $14.45 a house.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if you wanted me to change that on the bills or not.
Yeah.
I didn't know if that needed approval or.
Well, I mean, it's the rate.
Yeah, it's gonna be the rate.
I didn't know if it was like an ordinance or something.
No, not, I don't think it will.
Yeah, and we're not spending money, we're just changing the ink on a bill.
It's
right?
actually gonna be a little bit less.
Yeah, so
Okay,
I think we need to.
That's all that
That, just put it on the bill.
Go ahead with it.
all right.
Lisa Pace.
Pierce.
Sorry, I should have known that one. I think I know your daughter.
Yeah. Had an issue come to light recently with the tenant that lives behind me, 222 East Walnut Street. Started in 2023, they began putting cones in the driveway. I included pictures. They put no trespassing signs and said that I could not access that driveway. I bought the house in 1992 or 94. Had access when I bought it, and had access through all the owners that have lived there since. And now they're putting cement blocks to block part of the driveway. Had to call the sheriff twice. The first time my grandson was riding his bicycle down the alley, curved through the grass that's in the alley. And she came out and was screaming at him and threatening. So I called and just said, we need somebody to come out to kind of explain to them that this is an alley.
Yeah.
You know, I explained that it used to be where the trash service came through. Now it's just a shared driveway and alley.
Right.
They said, no, it's not. It's our property and you stay off of it. Okay. So I told her, first of all, I said, the property belongs to Georgia Buckner. It's deeded to them. I said, you're the tenants, and that sparked a real big argument. They yelled and screamed, and so it was okay for a little bit. They put cones out where I mow, so I wouldn't mow there, and I took a picture of that.
So there's.
And they put cones behind my garage. It was probably from my pad out 4 feet, so I couldn't back out of my garage. They said I own only up to 2 feet from my pad. So I called Jason Henderson. He said, no, Lisa, he said, that is a shared driveway, that is an alley. You had every right to use that. It's not theirs, there's an easement there, and that's where the colored part.
Right.
Which he said is not exact, but it's a representation here of where the alleys are. So Tuesday, I come home and there's cement blocks at the end of the driveway and boards boarding off. I included that picture. So I came out and I was taking pictures of it. It wasn't near the garage or anything. I was about halfway. I had video in the driveway taking pictures. She came out of the car and he came out of the car screaming that I was on their property and to get off of it and get into my garage. They do have a camera that anytime I walk in my garage, they can see me and they video me in my garage. It says, hello, you are being recorded every time I'm in my garage.
And talks to you.
So this last incident was Tuesday, and I followed up a couple times with Jason Henderson, and he had me call you guys and request a free survey of that. I called him back, and he said Sharpsville had not called to get that free survey yet. So he said, but definitely that is an alley. So yesterday, took pictures of that. He came out of the car and he confronted me saying I was trespassing on his property. And he said, any trespassers will be shot. So at that time, picked up the phone, called 911. They sent 2 officers. He proceeded then to yell slurs, bitches. He said he was going to build a fence down the driveway because it is his driveway, and that he would sell me part of the driveway for $1 million if I would leave them alone and never talk to them. And I know that this same individuals have had trouble with Dave to the north of me and Lester also.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Okay. I knew that there was a conflict, but I didn't realize it was this extent. I was meaning to call Jason last couple weeks, got tied up with other stuff, but I've got a note written here, I'll call him tomorrow morning.
And
Have him survey right where that alley is.
he goes even further to say that I should only go out of my driveway once in the morning and once at night. He told me that I go out of my driveway too many times a day and have destroyed his driveway. I said, the last 3 tenants, and I named the last 3 owners of the house, they have shared the gravel cost with me.
Yeah.
You know, it said it should be maintained by the town, but we haven't seen that, so we always,
We don't maintain alleys, haven't for a
Yeah.
long time.
So,
I would like.
Brian and
to
Beth
get that.
and Dee and Barry and Mike and Michelle, we all just split it.
Right.
They said, if it's yours, why don't you maintain it? I said, it's shared. I said, do you want to buy gravel? He said, no, it's mine.
I know that that alley has kind of encroached a little farther over to the east. I just don't know how far. So I'll call Jason and see how soon he can get out here and actually tell us where that alley is. Because if you look at Beacon, and Beacon's not a
An exact, yeah.
exact.
Well,
The
shed,
neighbor's shed
sheds
down
on
there is
that.
on the.
His garage,
on
you know, all of it are on.
So
that.
we'll find out exactly where it is and go from there.
Well, we have video of this threatening and,
Okay, that'll have to go through him.
and all, so.
So,
but-
I didn't realize it was to that extent. I
Yeah.
thought it kind of got resolved.
No, well, you know, when my grandson went, you know how grass kind of grows into the
Right,
alleyway?
right.
That's where he was, and she come out screaming at him and scared him to death. He was just turning out the
In
drive.
my opinion, there's no sense in taking it out on the child.
You know,
Steve, I hate to interrupt, but I was talking to the police there. I was there. She thinks she owns that 25 foot in front of her lot. Nobody does, that's the town's.
I told her it was an
You
easement,
talking
she
about the
said,
alleyway?
I'm talking about in front of her house where the
Yeah.
boys were at.
Oh, okay, out on the street?
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
25 feet,
Oh,
just
there's
like
an
this.
easement out there.
So see, when I got checked, it's 50 feet. 25 from the center of the road to there, it's really 50. You get 25 and 25.
Right.
And I saw them kids down there, I was down there.
Yeah.
And I talked to the police. And I said, that's not their property.
No, because like my
They're out there by
property
that booth.
my property line is 25 feet off the center
Mine
of the
is
road.
too.
So,
and they also, when they have visitors over, they block them, so I can't even get in. They park the visitors, people right in the center of the, so I can't even access the garage, which is. The next thing is, I'm putting new siding and a fence and things up. I have to get the 3 neighbors to sign off on the neighbor acknowledgement. I don't think that's gonna happen.
we have another one, the same situation. We work around it.
Okay,
So
and since
as
I'm
long
having
as you're
some,
within your boundaries, your property lines, and you do the offset on it, which is what's the offset
on the fence.
The fence can be on the
on the
property
property
line,
line.
so it's your choice where to put it. It's from the property line in,
Okay.
okay?
What, if I'm putting new siding on and everything, do I need a building permit?
No. As long as you don't
Garage doors.
change, as long as you don't change the footprint of the house, so as long as you're doing work to the house itself, there's no permit
Yeah, just
required.
putting new garage doors, siding, and fence. So just fill out this, just get a building permit in general,
You don't even need that, as long
not
as
for
you're not,
that, okay. Just
not adding to
fencing
the
permit.
house.
Just the one for the
The
fence.
one for the fence you'll need, since
Okay.
there's not an existing fence.
Okay.
If you had a fence there and you were replacing it and
Yeah.
going right back to the same place, you didn't need a permit for that either, so.
Okay. But yeah, it's, whenever I come home, it's verbal, it's physical, verbal harassment. They accuse me of standing behind their car and not letting them move. But I have video showing exactly where I'm standing
We'll find out right where
with it.
where it's at.
So if it is an alley and they do own part of that, how do I get by?
Well, they won't own part of it if it's an alley, it's all the towns.
It's all, and I can drive down the center of it.
Right,
Okay.
yeah, wherever, Jason will mark it with stakes,
Okay,
and I'll get with him and find out, even if I gotta take time to meet him
that's no
and
problem.
visually look at it, so.
So I went down there to that alley, and you know what, they told me the same thing. I like Dave Vance's place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that little,
That alley, that's what
that
Dave
thing,
did
they
too.
said, we're watching you, you're trespassing, and I thought,
That's an alley. Well, Dave drove his truck, he lives on a deck.
Yeah.
His house is an alley, and he drove there and went down our alley.
Right.
She lit into him.
yeah, he told me.
Okay. We'll find out exactly where it's at.
The one thing I'll add to that is even if it comes back and the driveway has gradually moved onto their property, they can't legally stop you from entering your property.
Like I said,
So-
when I bought it in 1994, it came with that access to the garage, and she said, no, you can build a garage, that doesn't mean you need access.
Yeah, if they can't legally stop you from entering your
can't-
property.
You can't landlock.
Okay, I said, oh, but I just never said anything, I just go in my garage.
I heard him screaming the other night.
I've talked to them too, they've stopped me, and like I said, I thought it was a solved thing, or but since it's still going on.
I told her, I said, I've lived here for 32 years in the same house, and I said, I've never had an issue with anybody. It's-
Yeah, it's always been shared, even back when,
Mike and
Tri-
Michelle,
Triangles
Dean,
live
yeah,
there.
Trines,
Yeah.
Dean Berry,
yeah,
Brian and Beth,
and I know they got, I'm assuming that they got a
something with
purchase
Georgia,
agreement with Georgia.
because their name is not on the
Yeah.
deed, I put that
Yeah, see, mine's, I'm buying it on contract, but it's, my name's on
on
the
the
deed.
deed, right.
I know how that works, but, yeah, if their name's not on it, I don't know, Ray, do you know anything about that part?
Well, if you live there, you've established residency, you have a vested interest in the property.
Right.
But ultimately, you can take this up with Miss Ruckman just as easily because she owns the property, and according to the tax record, it's not on contract, but that doesn't mean that it's not
Something between them.
correct. So, I mean, it's hard to say that
Kristen has
without knowing.
Georgia's
Yeah.
way to contact Georgia.
I would get in contact with her because ultimately, if there's a cost somewhere, it's going to fall on her. It won't fall on the tenant. Now she can pass it on to the tenant, but
Right.
it's going to fall onto her. So
All right,
Thank you. Employee reports, Marshall?
thank you. All righty. So the June 25 report is attached as far as activity report. Just a reminder, we changed two calibers. So dispatch changed their system halfway through the month. So the numbers are a little lower, but that's because of changing systems. And then ordinance issues, property updates, 111 South Brown, 221 West High. There's no change to 111 South Brown, continues to do it. 221 West High, which is where a lot of that stuff, if you recall, got moved up there. I've been working with the owners at 221 West High, and they have been cleaning it up a very, very large amount. So I'm going to continue to work with him. but I think they've taken 3 or 4 dumpsters of stuff out. So if you get a chance to drive up by there, it's a huge difference from what it was. 126 South Brown, issues remain. Property still not within good standing. 235 East Walnut, issued warning for items and vehicles on property. The vehicles have been placed under temporary structures. Items remain on property line and by garage. 124 Southwest, a warning letter was sent. Spoke with the owner's father. Plan to remedy by 8/1. I just realized that I forgot to mention what the issue on that one was, and basically there's a lot of items that's accumulated by a fence row that are outside of the property. So dealing with that. 309 East Vine, high grass, weeds, vegetation in backyard, creating hazard for neighbors. There's a lot of animals and rodents and whatnot that are coming out of it. I did send a warning notice. I put it as a remedy by 7/22. I know there's been some improvement, not a whole heck of a lot. So citations to follow. She's not returned any calls or letters or anything like that. So I'm still attempting to make contact with her. 122 East Elm, no change. Neighbor continue to take care of the lawn per their agreement. Property remains a hazard. 328 North, vehicles not plated in disrepair. Vehicles have been, some have been moved and they have begun to be plated. Still working with owner, still checking back on 7/22, which is coming up quick. 122 South Washington, trash and debris around property. Plans to be addressed by, that says 6/14. It was actually 7/14. I haven't checked on it yet today. 324 North Church, trash, weeds, vegetation around property. Issued warning letter, remedy by 8/14. I did talk to her. She got the notice late, about 2 weeks after I had sent it. So I extended it to August 14th. 904 North Church. There were 5 abandoned vehicles. I sent a warning notice on May 14th. I worked with him over the course of June to get them out of there, and everything was removed by the 1st of July. 216 West Meridian, overgrown. That whole back acre of that property is extremely overgrown. There's a lot of complaints as far as animals and issues going on around that, as well as where that pool used to be years ago. I talked to her, that, not to sparse words, but kind of inherited a bad situation purchasing that property. There was a lot more wrong with it than she was aware. So I'm working with her to get it addressed, but we plan on having a plan in place by the 22nd of this month. General ordinance things, I forgot to, I'll bring this one up just saying it. Golf cart ordinances, we issued 3. General ordinance concern, I've had a lot of people asking me about animals and livestock in town. Obviously when I got my correct copy, there is no livestock permitted in town. So obviously there's been people that have brought concerns about chickens and things like that to me. I've told them that they're not permitted in town. However, that needs to be taken up with the board as far as general direction on that goes, because we do have multiple people that have livestock of some way or fashion. Requesting permission to work with the Tipsy County Highway to put the Tahoe on the GovDeals website, because I have not gotten any, being that it's not operable. It's not exactly a hot item. The GovDeals website is what the county highway uses to sell. It's an auction process. That money will still come back to the town, all that jazz. It's just going to be done under the umbrella of the highway. So if you guys give permission to do that, basically what needs to happen is deem it excess. And then we would, I'd work with Brett to get it put on their website and get it set up for auction and to go from there. There's a lot more information that I'll have to get from it, but general festival update. The additional staffing was a huge help to me because the last 2 years the event's only gotten bigger, and last year we absolutely got our butts kicked. So having the additional manpower was a great help for a lot of the issues that we did have. Mostly minor calls. We were busy pretty much the entire time. I never got a final head count, but if any of you were out and about, I'm pretty sure that was the most people that I've ever seen at that. So there was a couple concerns as far as traffic control and blocking of roadways, things like that. I'll work with the festival committee, their committee next year, to try to eliminate some of the issues that we did have specifically on Elm Street and Vine. So nothing of major concern, but we're going to work to make that a little bit better next year. General police car update should receive the new vehicle this month. We're updating the graphic package. It is attached. Basically, this is just going to permit higher visibility. I'm old school enough. I'm going back to black and white, but it'll be much more prominent that it's a police car. So increase people seeing it and everything else. I think that'll only help. I don't have this on my paper. I wrote it down because I forgot to put it on my report. Just encouraging you all to get your email set up that we have going so we can transition out of your personal emails so you guys aren't having any concern with that in the future. And then the last thing I have is the Liberty Township trustee, Paul Kingery, got a hold of me in the last couple weeks. I was helping him get stuff updated on the county website for the township. And he has requested permission to use this room and our equipment to host their township board meetings because they're obligated to live stream them as well. I expressed that I don't have any concern coordinating with him to be in here and get it set up for him to get it going. I just need your guys' permission to, obviously, for him to use this room and things like that. There's no additional cost. There's nothing like that. I'll schedule it for a day that I'm working, so it won't be of an issue. But so the only two things that I would ask is request permission for the Tahoe to be placed on the auction website via the county highway, and then permission for the township advisory board to use the room.
I think they were basically already, Paul was using this room at one point for interviews.
He did.
He-
During the day.
Yeah.
Yeah, he still is.
Yeah.
He still is. But now that law, since that law changed, they're required to live stream.
Like,
So that's the main function.
okay. Yeah, he sent me a text message, said I'm working with Ray to set up the live stream our meetings. We would like to offer to pay for a portion of the equipment cost if that's possible. Says I would like to get it in the budget for 2026.
I definitely think that's something to talk about. I know obviously the cost has already been covered over the last 6 months that we've been working on this project, but obviously them having the meeting here, they're going to use our same platform.
Yeah.
It'll just be labeled as Township Board Advisory or a Township Advisory Board meeting. And in all reality, they're only required to do a couple of those a year, so it won't be as often as you guys meet.
Make a motion for the Tahoe.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All. Nobody. That passed.
And I'll make a motion for the use by the Township Advisory Board.
I'll second it.
All opposed? All for?
And
That's all I have. Thank you.
Benji is with is in an IDEM meeting right now. Taking care of some IDEM stuff with, what's his name? From Bridgeville.
He's on.
Craig,
Craig
Craig Thompson.
Thompson. Thompson. He's with him tonight doing that. He's got, let me find my, where put it? What did I do with it? Yeah.
That's mine.
I don't know what it is you want. Here's something. Vehicle usage, mileage, the new mower hours, backhoe hours. Did 5 locates, sent the monthly back to you. Water usage was 1,788,000 gallons. We sent the MROs to IDM. Sewage pump, gallons there. Nothing on the gym, nothing on the park. On the town, says we had a main break on East Vine Street, Curley's contracting replaced the valve and line. That happened just before the 4th of July weekend, and they were able to get in here, get it fixed, and get it cleaned up before the weekend celebration. I think Benji and Tom did a fantastic job along with Curly's. Said he's included the quotes for the park and the North Lift Station from IPW, giving us a 30% discount on parts. They were not able to do any discount on labor, but they was able to give us a 30% discount on parts, which is still a big chunk of money. It will take 1 to 2 months to get everything in for both lift stations. The park lift station still has a temporary PLC, so the lift station can still operate. The north side is still running on one pump. Fluid Waste came in and cleared out the county tile on Church Street. As we was on the last drain, the hose on their truck broke, so they're rescheduled to come in and do county line tile going down West Street. Because when we got that heavy rain, it did a lot of flooding everywhere. Not as bad as we've seen it in the past, but I have been working on 120 water, on getting a grant to pothole the service lines for the lead and copper inventory. And what they have to do is they have to go in and pothole right beside where the curved valves are and find out what the material of the line going into the house is.
There's no lead in town.
Yeah, but they have to confirm it. I didn't have. There is some galvanized.
Well, down here.
Yeah.
Is it galvanized or steel?
Not the main lines, the service lines going to the house. I think.
All of the services, the way I read that
Yeah.
information was the services that the town provided to the property line.
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah, that's all
and it's all copper.
copper and plastic.
Now, there are people who have galvanized lines, and then it spoke of lead leaching into the galvanized.
Right,
But in that case, we don't have any galvanized to leach.
okay. That's something
The only
that,
galvanized I know of would be at the cheese factory tap
right,
and at the 2-inch tap on the post office, but that's been changed because it leaked and I had to put a new company there, service plant.
oh, yeah, going on to
So
the
it's
main
just
line.
rubber, it's just rubber,
Yeah,
but it wasn't galvanized. That's
Okay.
what was leaking.
that's something that he's been talking to IDM about, so, for that inventory. I don't know what all they've got to do. I'll have to touch base with them on that, to find out more. And he said, I would like to thank everyone that helped with getting things done before the festival. You guys got copies of
Do we need to go ahead and take action on these two quotes? And can we, it's been decided that we can't get more than one quote?
It's hard to get more than one quote because there's not that many companies out there that do this. And, because we went with another company before that basically we hired them and they outsourced it to other companies, which cost us more in the long run. This company does from the panel to the bottom of the pit. They do it all. So in my opinion, this is the way to go. With somebody that, you know, whatever happens down there, they can fix it on the fly.
Since, have you seen the quotes and is this something we can afford to do?
Like what account does these come out of? Water?
It would be water, yes.
That'd be, well, that'd be wastewater.
Yeah, I probably mix it up both of them.
Are we okay on that kind of money?
We could, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I think sewage has around 40 grand right now. I think water is like 130. So, I mean, yeah.
Could cover it.
Taking the water or wastewater borrowed from the water.
At one point, I think that ended last year.
And that's taken care of.
It should be.
I would make a motion then that we would go with these two quotes from Indiana Pump Works. 78,000 for the lift station and 25,000 for the north end.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
And so we're just doing that outright, just paying it. We're not financing or anything.
That's $100,000, you only got 48.
Yeah.
That's not gonna cover it.
That's how I was thinking.
Yeah, we need to check in, I guess, on the finance part of it.
Mhm.
So let's try to do that as soon as possible.
All right.
Would that be through Dolzell?
I would think so, probably. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
One comment on this. Did you, Roger, think you found where a lot of water is getting into the system behind the,
When I was mowing back there, at some point, they put a grate over, instead of the solid plastic lid for the tank, it's a drain grate.
Where at?
behind
on
the
HP.
car station? The repair?
That must have been hit then, because back when I worked here, there was a plastic lid on that, so it must have got hit or something, and they put a grate on it.
I gave a list of 4, I think.
Yeah, I've got them. I didn't realize that one had a grate on it.
So that could help if we had the
Oh,
plastic
big
lid
time.
on it.
Big time,
Okay.
especially if we get any flooding back here.
Well, there's another one right down here I saw today. Withams,
No,
Pat?
I turned that in.
oh,
Oh,
it's busted bad. Right in front of his house.
yeah.
That,
With
Bill,
Bill Witham,
yeah,
Bill Pat. Okay.
yeah, that box there, it shot.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay. That covered all that. Town attorney comments.
Well, first, we've got comments from Ray. Anybody we need to get after on your ordinance violation listing? Do we need to invite any of those people to these meetings?
So we have, how it's set up, obviously, is we do that 30-day window at the beginning, right? So at 30 days, they have the opportunity to remedy it. And then depending on situations, it can be extended and whatnot. So we're entering that point with a few of them that are going to have to be issued citations to answer to their violation. As far as, the ones that are on my paper that say that they're referred to the attorney, obviously those are the ones going through litigation or whatnot already. The 126 South Brown, that last meeting, you guys chose not to move forward. I can't remember to file that injunction, right?
Yeah, that was right.
Did not move forward with that.
Whose
Okay.
property is that?
That's the Horn property.
Oh, right,
Um,
that is correct.
and it's again gone back and forth, and it's been not good for a while. The original cutoff on 1, 2, 3 of them properties was July 1st, as far as when the process started for those. So obviously it's up to you guys. But specifically, there's been some of the properties have been addressed to some extent. Not all of them are within, good standing. So I think my opinion on it is I'm going to be writing a citation if I don't hear anything back on the 309 East Vine Street property before our next board meeting. So I will probably move forward with that one with a citation. The same thing with basically that one, 235 East Walnut, and then we're still in limbo on the 111 South Brown, aren't we? Because that's the tax sale Wagner property that we can't do anything with until November, I believe, right?
Until he takes possession.
Has to legally get the deed.
Right.
Okay. So in all reality, I would say that probably 3 are due for a citation to come before you guys. Just because as far as time frame, we've exhausted that on quite a few of them, and I try my best to work with people on it. So as far as for you, the only thing I don't have any other than if there's any change with you guys on wanting to file on the 126 South Brown. But we've also invited him to meetings before. That's why we have the judgment. So. But again, there's 2 of them will probably be getting a notice, not a notice step here. I can't do that. But a citation requesting them to come to the next board meeting.
And if they don't, we can proceed as we did against, it was Davis and somebody else.
Horn.
Oh, Horn, right. And we're gonna make a settlement offer to Horn if his property is in compliance, but as I understand, it's not.
It's only gotten worse. There's I didn't drive by it yet today, but I know of a couple days ago there's car parts and a car half torn apart in the driveway and all kinds of things. So it's
Okay.
not gotten any better whatsoever.
Right. No settlement offer. In related matters, found out from the Indiana Court of Appeals that Ms. Davis appealed the roughly $9,000 judgment we wound up taking after citing her. And the Court of Appeals dismissed it partially on the grounds that she didn't notify me she was filing an appeal and some other problems that she had procedurally. So the good news is we've still got a valid judgment. Now her appeal rights are exhausted. Unbeknownst to me at the time, but she managed to lose without an opponent somehow. But eventually that'll go back up for tax sale. And you may recall we got paid last time it did because the tax sale doesn't extinguish our judgment. And so anybody buying it would pay that. And I think what happened is she redeemed it right before the tax sale. If I'm not mistaken, but regardless, we got paid. So we get paid again. What did we just vote on the wastewater? There's some kind of specialized thing that totaled about 100,000. Just because between 50,000 and 100,000 in the state of Indiana, you have to send out 7-day notice advance of 3 bids. If it's not a specialized program that only one entity does. So what?
It's actually rehabbing the lift stations. There's
Rehabbing?
not- Yeah, that's.
Rehabbing lift
It's all the way up from the pumps to the control panel, everything that operates the pump.
Did we notify any other vendors that do that?
There's,
Because theoretically, we should try to have open bids, because I think that kicks in 150,000, if I'm not mistaken.
okay,
Formal sealed bidding. Both these are less than 100, even combined, they're less than 100, I think, or right at it. But regardless, you still have to notify 3 folks in that line of work and give them a chance to do it. I don't know, did we do that?
I don't believe so, because we went with IPW because they do work for us already.
Well, you don't have to take the low bid, you have to take the low
Right.
responsible.
They're
feasible bid.
specialized in it. So then I guess we're gonna need to get a couple more bids on it.
Or at least solicit them, we can't make people bid,
Right.
and it may be specialized enough that,
We've done that before when I was here, where we tried to get bids and we just, nobody was interested in
Right.
bidding on stuff.
right. But Indiana, unlike Texas, doesn't allow, they don't have what's called a sole source exemption, where you say, oh, there's only one company that does it.
Okay.
You at least have to try to get 3
Okay.
or more. You don't have to take the low bid, but if you don't, you've got to show why it's feasible and better to take, reasonable, to take a higher bid.
That's been done before.
So, yeah, you don't have to take the low bid, but you need 7 days advance notice to at least 3 known providers of whatever service you're trying to get.
I'll get with Benji then and see if we can line up a couple more that we can get this.
Yeah, just 2 more in that line of work. It didn't sound like it's a sole source. It
Right.
sounded like there's probably,
I think one of the reasons that we was able to go, when I was here, when we put the new control panels and stuff, is I did basically the installation myself. We had the panels built over here at, it's an electrical engineering. And we saved a lot of money that way. I installed everything myself. But then they had another outside company come in and work on it, which my understanding, they tore the shit out of it, so.
well, you can't make people bid. You just have to invite at
Right.
least 3.
Yeah, we've done that before, where we tried to get bids and didn't get a response back, so we had to go with what we had.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so invite a couple more and we'll open them at a public meeting and pick one. And it'll likely be this one, but not necessarily. Which kind of relates to the next thing on my agenda. Lori had a good comment about, hey, how long do we have to store things? And the short answer is, if you're a lawyer, but it depends. Depends on what it is, like election records, ordinances, that's forever, permanent.
We have election records up
Yeah.
there,
Yeah,
so elections are permanent.
and obviously ordinances, that would make sense, since, if something's passed 10 years ago, it's still the law now. But other things like payroll records, I'm talking off the top of my head, invoices and all, it's 3 years. So the general rule on that, and then we've got this 90 days thing for live streaming and recording. Well, that's 90 days that it's available on your website. But after that, and really before destroying anything, even stuff you're like, hey, this is payroll from 1999, I can destroy it. Well, you can't, because you only have to keep that 3 years. But before I destroyed anything, I'd call IARA, which stands for the Indiana IA Archives and Record Administration, and tell them, because particularly before destroying the new videotape of our town meetings after 90 days, they may want to archive it. So I'd say, hey, I got payroll records from 1999 up to 2021. I want to destroy them. Is that okay? I get them to say, yeah. IA, do you ever deal with IA? All right.
I've never,
Indiana Archives Records Administration.
I've never heard anything about it.
Yeah, so before I destroyed anything, I'd probably tell them, all right, here's what I'm destroying, because I don't know, I can research a little if you want, what
Lori,
the periods are for what kind of documents. I mean, elections, ordinances, that's permanent.
on their website, they have a breakdown of what you can and can't do.
Okay. Unlike
just
the
like a-
water bill
Yeah.
stubs, things like that is up there.
Contracts
I'm
are
assuming-
6 years,
Did you
I
save
think.
them, right?
Yeah, I hold on to one.
All of them?
Yeah.
I hold on to
Building
it.
permits are 3 years after expiration, I think. Utility records are 3 years. Property maintenance violations are 3 years. But before I destroyed any of them, I'd say, here's all the stuff I'm destroying. IARA.
Okay.
And that's okay, right? And by the way, I'm destroying 4-month-old video of our town board meetings. Is that okay? And they might say, well, no, we want to archive your town board meetings for historical purposes. Okay. As long as we don't, but don't confuse we don't have to have them on our website for 90 days with, hey, 90 days, I'll just delete. Yeah, I wouldn't delete anything unless I found a IARA, which you never talked to, right? Never, yeah.
And for the record, the meetings are set up to be non-deleting at the moment,
Good.
just for the record.
Outstanding. Okay, but anyway, good question by Councilwoman there. All right, so we've got Brian Snyder here today. Last thing is the cheese factory, the ongoing, trying to get a development project going so we can roll the cost, 10 to 15,000 of a redevelopment commission. And then leverage the redevelopment commission to get a sewage treatment plant, and that's, the state of Indiana doesn't want anybody on septic, as of whenever they become a big important town like Carmel, which we want, I think. So, to get to sewage treatment plant, and we've got to go through redevelopment commission, and probably the easiest thing to do is redevelop the cheese factory, although I'm having doubts about that. So I haven't heard back from the people who were going to go with a soil remediation plan to IDEM. And IDEM allegedly told them, hey, there's not much you have to do. You've got a covenant, a restrictive covenant that Rob sent to me and that we discussed with some of the Stephen Ray from the East Central Indiana Redevelopment Corporation or something, whoever Stephen works for. And he said, yeah, if you just had a remediation plan that was approved by IDEM, there may be some money for you. You might even get it free, or free to you. We'd pay for it. Well, I haven't heard back from Mark Slayton and Glenn Barber, who were allegedly getting with IDEM about what a remediation plan might look like. But Brian, who's the developer, says, well, we deal with IDEM and remediation plans all the time. I can do it. You got somebody named Envirotech, is that right? Enviro Forensics. Well, just because we're recording these, you want to approach the lectern there and just tell us about that a little bit, or?
Well, I want to bring them to the next meeting, so we
Do you?
can cover that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, wow, okay. So next meeting is now, we're going back to second Thursday, right? Right. And, yeah. And so we've got somebody out there, Stephen Ray. For whom does he work, Rob?
The North Central Indiana Regional Development Corporation, it's a consortium of, I think, 8 counties that have banded together, and there have been various projects. They're part of the Ready 1 and Ready 2 financing, things like that. He is in charge of the corporation. He was the one that was helping us gather stuff for income surveys and things like that for water, which did not happen, but we'll probably approach them again for some help in that direction. So they
He was
have
similarly
access to grant money.
Yeah. Well, he was encouraging. He said, look, you've got this restrictive covenant, but all it says is anything you do with that property, you have to get approved by IDEM. So why don't you start? I said, well, I think we have started, but I just haven't heard back that here's the plan and IDEM said we can do it. And if I had those 2 steps, then I'd say, hey, Mr. Ray, we have some money to do it. These people aren't doing it for free, whatever it is. But apparently it's not that expensive because there's not that much to do. There are 3 borehole sites that revealed something that we have to not just pave over, we have to fix. And there are 2 ways to fix it. You can remove soil and bring in clean fill, or you can dump some other chemical down there that neutralizes whatever it is you didn't like. And obviously Plan B is cheaper. I thought that's what we were working on, but I haven't heard back. So if Enviro Forensics wants to come next time and say, okay, well, what would they need to know, Brian, before next time? Would they?
From what you get from the IDEM aspect of it, and what was done.
I'll just show them what we have. Yeah. Okay. You want me to just email you that?
Yeah.
Because it's 3 borehole sites that they didn't like. But we may have to, I hate to switch horses in midstream, but the developer is here tonight again, kind of chafing at the bit, ready to go. If it really isn't that big a deal, whatever's under there, which I'm getting it secondhand, but I'm hearing it's not, then we just need somebody to go to item and say, here's a plan to fix it. And by the way, we got Stephen ready to pay for it. We can rock and roll, so let's shoot for that, I guess, second Tuesday on,
Thursday.
second Thursday.
The 14th.
If I'm here on the second Tuesday, I'll be at Ray's new meeting, and then, what is it, the township board?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know.
not their lawyer. Should be, obviously, but, okay, all right, so that's all I've got. I'm not gonna do anything to any of the ordinance violation people pending either the Horn property coming into compliance or Ray inviting 2 or 3 people down here to discuss.
And again, like I said, there should be 2 to 3 at the next meeting, but I, of course, will send to your new emails. Yes, send to your new emails that information.
Do I have any?
Yes, and I will talk to you about that too.
Okay. That's all I've got to say with you two.
Okay.
I had trouble getting.
Rob's got trouble too, so.
I haven't tried it.
Oh, well, might as well join the party.
I moved it into my personal email box and
Mm-hmm.
out of sight, out of mind.
Yep.
Okay, council comments.
At the buyer's house on North Church Street, that dog will not shut up. They keep a dog outside. The
320
two-story one
324?
of your families your family used to have. Is it
Oh,
buyers?
yeah.
I went down one time on my lunch hour. Is it barked for a solid hour and 10 minutes. And I talked with the neighbors, the Holmans and the Pagets, and they're both very upset.
First I heard about it, I will talk to him tonight.
I knocked on the door. I'm pretty sure someone was in there, but they didn't come to the door. And then the dogs in the mobile home north of me
Mm-hmm.
keep getting out almost. And I stopped one day and asked him, and he was very vulgar with me about getting the dogs. I said, you get the dogs, or I call the police to get the dogs.
Yeah, I returned them about a month ago. I had not heard of any other instances, so I'll talk to them as well.
Okay, probably 5-6 times this month.
Yeah, I will talk to them.
I don't know where the lady is that was always, where a grandchild of yours is at. The lady used to be right on him constantly. I have not seen her.
Jessica, something, yeah, she's aunt to my grandma.
Okay, so, yeah. And then I'm glad to see that you'll work on a parking and a traffic, because I was, one of the town members is very upset with this corrupt town. And won't come to any more board meetings because we're all corrupt, over the cone situation and the vendors coming and going. So if you'll try to figure that out next year.
So that particular issue I have already asked the festival people they need to put someone there, or I'm not gonna block it off because I cannot restrict people from going to their homes.
Yeah.
I couldn't allow continued personal items being taken into the road to block the road. That's not really the right thing. So
Okay.
I'm working with them to hopefully not have that issue next year.
I mean, it's a small town and we're bringing, like you said, a lot of people.
It was a lot of people to deal with. Yes.
So, yeah. Do we have a lot more vendors? I didn't even go down
We
there.
had,
I think it was
there
Sorry,
was quite a few more vendors.
during the day it was pretty slow. That was because it was so hot.
Hi.
Yeah.
In the evening it picked up.
Now, they have put on Facebook asking when to do it next year, because the 4th is on a Sunday.
Saturday.
On a Saturday, and then, and that's when Tipton is doing theirs.
Tipton were doing their Saturday night.
It's already
This
been
year.
coming on 27th.
So you said they moved it to June 27th? Okay.
I will work with them next year, and hopefully the particular complaint that you're talking about doesn't happen next year, but
Okay,
none of the parties were happy with me that night, but I couldn't legally do anything about it, so.
okay. I'm finished.
Ralph? Okay. Open discussion.
Ran away.
Roger Fouch, I live at 407 East Elm. First of all, I want to thank Zach Wood and Bridge Landscaping for the fantastic fireworks. This was my first year to see them, and I've heard nothing but praise for that. And the other thing is, I know that all three of you on the board work full-time, and me being kind of nosy, I've made a list of things that I've been able to see, the things that need to be done. So I'll just share with you, and that's all I have.
Good, okay, check them off.
Lester Root, everybody knows me, I'm the guy with the dog. Town hall building, it was stated last little meeting that we would get estimates on repairing the roof. Did we get them estimates? If we did, they weren't ready.
Yeah, they hadn't been gotten all in yet. Benji's still working on that.
Still raining.
I did go up there with Benji, Wednesday.
Yeah, I think so.
I didn't see anything, that was so wow. I mean, there's some ceiling tiles. I felt like all the lath that is exposed is still structurally okay, even though it's 100-some years old. It's messy up there. And obviously we have some areas where water is getting in. So I talked to Benji again about getting,
Can that be temporary repair, blue tarp or something?
it should be able to be
Well,
pretty easily.
where it leaked at last time when I fixed it was where the rubber roofing was all intact. I haven't been up there to see it. Benji's he took a drone up there and took video of it that he's gonna try to send to us. But the rubber roofing comes up, the sidewalls, and then caps. And that's where it was leaking, right along where it was splitting open at the ends. And I went up there with kitchen gloves and the sealer and smeared it on with hand and sealed it all. That may be where it's cracked and exposed again, but I don't think we have anything leaking in the rubber roofing itself. We might. But he's getting with three roofing companies to get bids on the repair on it.
Okay, on the gym in the,
Three, right? Yeah, three.
get the gym into the historical.
Mhm.
We have come from a C to the A with the state. It could take approximately 16 months to get everything done. That's going for state and federal historical on the gym. Also, I mentioned to Benji, we got 2 trees that need to come down in the park. Is it okay if I get some estimate for them, or?
I talked to Benji about the tulip tree, which was the second one.
And the other is the panel, get the smaller tree
Okay,
on the other side of the sidewalk out from the.
okay. I talked to Benji though about, the crew cutting that down. Cause we spent the money on a chainsaw and an extended pole and I wanna see it used. And I told him that I would make time to meet with him and help cut that down,
The
the tulip tree.
And can we get the stump removed too, because I would like to, and I'll figure out a way to get the money to replace the tulip tree and the pin oak. The pin oak is the second one we got put in there. Our soil just will not let that
Right.
pin oak survivor, so we'll change it for a different tree in there.
So we took that pine tree out that was leaning
And
years
put
ago.
another pine tree in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't aware of the other one, but
Yeah,
the tulip tree, we didn't want to do it right before the festival and deal with that, so we held off on it,
so Benji, you're gonna take that down?
and I'm gonna help with it. That way it can be taken down, chopped up, put on the truck, and all that.
Okay, on the pickleball court, where are we at on getting it
I,
put in?
I went online and requested 2 quotes. Well, I requested quotes, and got zero response.
Well, I talked to Zach,
Yeah, I didn't go to Zach.
I talked to him, and he was gonna look at it and see what it detailed and put that in.
Okay, I have all the specs. I believe all the board members have the specs. I'm happy to get him my copy.
Okay.
I don't know where that, do you know where the supplies for that pickleball court are being stored?
They're what?
The supplies for the pickleball court, like the
Down
mat?
there at the water plant,
In the pole barn down at
Yeah.
the water plant.
in the pole barn.
Okay. I didn't know if a contractor needed to see that.
If Zach told me he would like to see the specs and look at what it detailed.
Okay.
Put it in and look at the material.
All right,
But he didn't say, no, we won't put it in. But, I really appreciate what Zach done over the festival. They come down and put new mulch all around the trees, cleaned up the park completely,
painted lines.
painted lines, done a super job for the town. So, anytime we can, throw a little business that way, I think it shows our appreciation to the local owner.
Okay, I'll get him those specs.
Okay,
And we'll just need Benji or Tom to let us into the building when he wants to see it.
I did, repaired some wiring in the shelter house. We had some plugs out and stuff, and that's all been taken care of. And I worked with Benji, got that all taken care of.
You fixed that one.
Replaced it.
Which one's that?
I hated that.
On the poles,
Plug-ins.
plug was all broken and the caps are all off of it.
Right.
But it's all taken care of. Benji was gonna get some paint to paint the spark truck down there and the swings. I don't know if he's got that done or not.
He hadn't said anything to me
We
about
also
it.
got sand for the volleyball court, pea gravel for the, go inside the playground area. If they don't have time, I'll see if we can get someone to get that put in.
Okay.
That's all I got.
And big thank you to you and Roger for all your work along that one
Yeah.
side of the park.
It takes us all.
It looked great.
One thing, while the band that was performing that night was setting up, I was talking to him, and they had to have a couple of extra generators brought in. I don't know if they're going to continue to do this and have better bands. It might behoove us to look into what we need electrically to,
I've talked to Zach, and Zach wants to look into putting more electric down the, west side of the park. That there is, them lights on the west side are on one circuit, the lights on the north side are on single circuits. So it shouldn't be hard he's gonna check, see what it would take to put more electricity, so we have to have no generators in the park.
Yeah.
So,
Well, the band came to me too on that, because when we put the flatbed trailer on the west or east side of the gymnasium,
For the Beatles?
yeah, for the Beatles, I wired in some outlets for them that were on their own circuits. And I talked to the guy with the band, he didn't want to run cords across that far across the yard.
I don't know where they were at, were they in the shelter?
They were inside the shelter. And all four of those, I believe, were on one circuit,
They wouldn't
along
have
with
enough
lights.
power for the band.
Well, then during the performance, the lights kicked on the timer. And we couldn't find the key to the box, so I went down and got my bolt cutter to cut the lock, flip the lights off. That's something else too, those lights, I'd like to put on a photo cell instead of a timer.
Where is that?
It's on the west side between the gym and the pavilion, there's a timer box up there.
And it runs what lights?
It runs those four in the corner inside the,
Why don't you put
inside the
them on
pavilion.
a cell if you got somebody in there after dark?
Well, that's
They
the
do.
reason, because
Okay.
with the sun setting and
Would they be
changes,
on
you
all
gotta
night?
go out and change the setting on the timer all
Would
the
they
time.
be on all night long then?
Yes, but those are our LED. I put those in when I worked in town. They're gonna burn less electricity, they're not gonna get as hot. But that was our thing, is I wanted them on at night, because if somebody's up there in the pavilion when Ray's patrolling, he can't see him sitting up there. But with the photo cell, they'll come on at dark, they'll go out at sunlight, and there will be no adjusted time or anything.
I'll talk to Zach and see what we can do, because he talked about running some more power out there.
I don't know where we're gonna get it from though, unless we have something set up with Duke with another meter or something for, strictly for that, because the panel in the gym is packed.
The one upstairs,
Well, there's the one upstairs that feeds the one down in the hallway, that also feeds the one at the far end, the north end of the gymnasium.
What's
And I believe that thing,
What's the panel on the pole barn?
that's an idea, we could probably get power off that.
well, I'll get with him, we'll look at
Yeah,
over
we
the winter, but he wants to run some more power.
We
out
could
there.
trench that in and put a lot more power in the pavilion itself.
Just throwing something out, because the next grant cycle is opening up. The foundation does a lot of that park grant, that's how the city got a huge chunk of theirs covered.
Okay.
And we might look into that. I think it opens in August and it's rewarded in September, I think so.
And see, those lights around the tennis court don't work anymore. They haven't worked in years. And,
Well, that all needs to be taken out anyhow, the poles need to be come down.
right. Also, we ran into an issue, and the electrical in the pavilion was one of them things that was a last minute question, and it should have came up prior to, trash cans. We found out at the last minute we didn't have any trash cans. We had extra ones when we had waste management that we used down there.
I think one call or whatever it is, I thought they brought some out.
On point?
1 point.
No, that we couldn't, when this issue came up, it was on 4th of July. He was out of town, there was no way, he did return our,
Okay.
our phone call later.
Somebody told me they did bring it.
But we went up to Lowe's and bought some trash barrels and then placed them around, and that worked out pretty well.
About this high.
Yeah, they weren't very big.
And they have
I think there's one laying down at the park and the lid's back there by the lift station.
I thought I got them all. But I went down Sunday with my trailer and golf cart and loaded up all the trash and took
There's
it
a
to
lid
the,
down there by the tree.
okay.
And maybe you got the one I'm talking about there along the curb on the east side of the park.
I'll have to check. Like I said, I went down Sunday and I loaded up every bit of trash and went around with my gripper thing and picked up all the trash through the park.
Should there be bags in those receptacles down there to dump golf discs?
I talked to Benji about those. I'd like to get rid of those damn things. Those were up here at the building years ago. They're concrete. You can't pick them up. They're heavy.
You gotta have bags in them.
Like out
They
here,
Yeah,
had,
that's full too.
it's
yeah.
full.
they
Yeah.
had lids on them and
Yeah.
the lids blew away. I'd like to get rid of those, get with On Point, maybe get a couple more barrels down there. That way they can be wheeled out to the street.
I could see where they're a pain, they would be a pain.
Yeah. That's the only thing I didn't pick up when I was down there on Sunday.
Full.
And, yeah, but I put them down there years ago when they still had the lids and stuff to them, and they're made of concrete. We need to get rid of them.
I did just think of one other thing. Can we, can we go forward with getting the street swept if Tipton is still
If we
in
can get-
agreement of
if we can
doing it
Get
for-
their sweeper. I didn't,
Roger has contacts there. we couldn't seem to get it done by the 4th.
No.
It's just too close, they didn't have enough time.
Yeah.
So if we could still try to get that done, I would make a motion then that we hire the city of Tipton for the $2,000 price to do it. Sweep the town with their equipment, their manpower,
Okay.
and on a weekend.
I wondered about Benji or somebody being able to
Be available.
kind of be available or be a guide. And then I
I'm
think,
sure Benji'd be willing to, just have to set up a day that we know.
they don't do it on
If
Saturday.
if it's a Saturday, I don't have to work, I'll be down there.
Saturday or
Tuesday.
Sunday, that's why we couldn't get it before the festival.
Either day, whatever works for the employee that'll be doing it.
And then after they would, it would be a great idea to do the holes in the painting,
So,
finish the painting.
so I made a motion, we need a second.
Second. Okay. Everybody in favor of? Any opposed? Passed.
Yeah, I got something to say. Today I met some people. Tom was there. They were from Pennsylvania. They took pictures of the thing down there, the gym. They wanted to get in the gym. There's about 10 of them. And it'd be nice if you would leave the key up here at the office and have a little note on that door if you'd like to get into the gym. That they could go and see, because they wanted to get in there today, and there was about 10 of them.
Call him.
Oh, is that right?
He's got,
Well, they, their dads went to school here.
he's got a key.
I went and got Benji today, he opened it up, there's about 10 of them
Okay.
to get in there, but it'd be nice if you had some kind of notice on the door that,
Well, there used to be one on there to contact a certain number,
oh, I don't know.
but that's been years ago.
But like I say, they got in there today, they really liked it.
Yeah.
Because they wanted to see it. It's been many, many years, she's told me. So, that'd be nice if you could do that.
Okay. Yeah,
You get the key.
all right, back to. Okay, motion to adjourn after the minutes and claims are signed.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
All right. Back to the second Tuesday.
Yeah, I didn't
All right.